Alright my peeps, it's time for some new Destruction AllStars news. Yes, I found some more new information. This time we got some new single player details as well as some information on what that custom mode that we saw in the PlayStation 5 user interface video is all about. On top of that, the official PlayStation magazine just dropped the preview for Destruction AllStars on top of a bunch of other PS5 launch games. So I got the subscription just for that to see if there was any new information, and I'll let you know in this video right now. So first off, just the fact that the official PlayStation magazine actually exists surprised me. I mean, I thought gaming magazines died a while back. I know the Xbox one's dead. I'm pretty sure the Nintendo one died like a few months ago, maybe a year ago, but I guess PlayStation once again is on top when it comes to gaming, and they just managed to survive. So yeah, first option was to get it shipped out to me, that like they have physical copies of this. I'm still surprised at this, but that would have been delivered after the launch of the game, so there's no point in that. But thankfully it turned out they also have a digital edition of the magazines. Alright, they're up to date. So I got the subscription for that just to see the preview. So check out the preview, and guys, unfortunately, really there's nothing new here. This preview, to me, was pretty much them reciting the official description of the game that you can find on the PlayStation website in their own words. I'm not even sure if these guys played this game. It honestly just sounds like they recited all of the information that we already got in their own words for this preview. Now, as always, disclaimer, I could be wrong. They might have played it, but they might have been told to be hush-hush about it and not share too much information because of embargoes or whatever. So that might be why the official PlayStation's magazine's preview was pretty much info that we already knew. So the official PlayStation boys and girls might have played it, and I say that because at some point in the article, they do mention ray tracing, which, as far as I know, they haven't announced that this game would support ray tracing, so I guess that's something new right there. Destruction AllStars might have ray tracing, but aside from that, everything else that they talked about here, even the abilities, were the same abilities that the official blog post about Destruction AllStars revealed. They talked about Mr. Sparkles and Saber's car abilities, which both of them were talked about already in that blog post a while back. But what is interesting here, if the PlayStation magazine people have actually played this game prior to previewing this game for their magazine, is that they said Lucid Games Lurid, never heard that word before, so you guys let me know what that means, PS5 debut, Destruction AllStars, could be the console surprise hit at launch. Now, if they've actually played this and are saying this, that's a good sign. That's good. But once again, this preview of Destruction AllStars that they've got in this magazine really is just a description of the game with all the info that we already know. So I don't even know if the official PlayStation magazine people have played this game before posting up this preview, but for those of you who do want to see the magazine preview for yourself, I have posted it up in the Destruction AllStars Discord, which, by the way, if you haven't joined that, what are you doing? Link is in the description box. It's always in the description box of these Destruction AllStars videos. Also, just opened up a looking for players section over there so we can all add each other. So we got a bunch of people to play with, especially in the custom mode, which I'll go over what that's all about in just a few. And remind me to cancel my official PlayStation magazine free trial. Moving on, in the gameplay video where I showed you guys some things you might have missed from the PlayStation UI video by slowing things down and such, I also missed a few things, and some of these are pretty important. So number one, some of the trophies in the game, like the Rookie and Recognized trophy, are actually going to unlock profile avatars and profile banners. So that confirms rewards tied to unlocking trophies in Destruction AllStars. Second of all, we now know one of the upcoming Destruction AllStars video from that user interface video, and that is a character focus video on Lupita. And I want to thank Rodrigo Sousa for pointing that out in one of the recent videos. So if they're going to have a character focus video on Lupita, they're likely going to have one for all the other characters, or at least a bunch of them. Third of all, upon rewatching the PlayStation user interface video for like the, I don't know, 50th time or something like that, it looks like melee attacks are going to have a cool off time. I want you to pay attention once the match starts here. The melee attack button goes from being grayed out to getting filled up until it's actually accessible. And for those of you who've played enough games, you know that when there's an icon that gets grayed out and then eventually gets filled back up, that means there's a cooldown time. We know there's going to be melee attacks. We saw one in the trailer, but now this confirms that you're not just going to be able to use your melee attacks one after the other without any penalty or cooldown or anything like that. So you're not going to be trading punches left and right one after the other with an opponent. there's gonna be some cool-off time between your melee attacks, so you'll want to use them wisely. And what you can also notice next to the melee button is Lupita's character ability grayed out, as well as her hero vehicle. But you can see that the bar to actually summon her character vehicle and actually use her character ability gets filled up without her doing anything. Even when idle, when not attacking anybody or anything like that, it still gets filled up. And we do know that the more damage you inflict during the match and such, the faster that gets filled up, but this confirms that it'll also fill up even when you're not doing anything. So that's great news for the players that are gonna suck. You're still gonna be able to use your specific character ability as well as your character vehicle, just not as fast as the people that don't suck as much. But now on to the juicy new information that we got. Once again though, it's minimal, as with all the info surrounding this game. I had to find this was just recently updated. But anyways, a bit ago they shared some info on the single player on the official PlayStation website, saying that it's gonna be a single player series specifically tailored to a number of playable Destruction All-Stars. And to that, I said this. So it seems like you won't be able to play as all of them in the single player. Turns out I was right, because today I can confirm that you're gonna be competing in over 50 single player challenges tailored to 8 All-Stars. So it's official now, half of the roster is going to have a single player story section. Not all of them, and I can confirm 2 of the All-Stars are gonna have a specific story. Number 1 is going to be Genesis, and number 2, Ultimo Barricado. Now, the only reason I can confirm these 2 is because these cards were shown on the PlayStation UI video. But if I had to take a guess, I'd say Lupita is probably a safe bet too, because there seems to be a lot of focus on her. She was the character used in the latest gameplay video that we got, and also, she's the character which you get an extra skin for if you get the digital deluxe edition of the game. So I'm pretty sure she's gonna be part of those 8 All-Stars with a single player story. And also seems like the single player series or challenge series for these characters isn't gonna be too short, because if you look at this card, the PlayStation estimates that it's gonna take 100 minutes just to complete the Genesis challenge series. You do 100 times 8, that's 800 minutes to complete the whole thing, assuming they're all around the same length. So 800 minutes, looks like we're looking at a single player that's gonna last around 13 hours. Thanks, Google. Next up, once again in the latest gameplay video, we saw a brand new mode called Custom Mode. Now, there wasn't any details about this, they didn't go into the mode, but once again today, it looks like we got our answer, because it says create and share your own destructive events and challenges. So it's like a community creations mode where people can share these events and challenges that they create for other players to play online. And by the way, if you're wondering where I got this new info from, this is from GameStop. GameStop just updated the page to add these 2 new bits of information. And what's so weird is that nobody else right now, not even the official PlayStation website, has this new information. Only GameStop, so I'm not sure if they were supposed to update the page just yet, or if they're the only ones that cared enough to update the page with this new info. Not sure, I'm just the guy that brings you the info. And speaking of that, if you like these videos, do the Deeks a favor and click that like button, subscribe for more. I'm going to be posting up a bunch of Destruction All-Stars videos, especially also once it comes out. And one last thing, it looks like we should be able to get some gameplay soon, because John Lyman, I think that's how you say, from Digital Foundry, just posted up today. Well, next-gen coverage is getting underway. I'll be covering games big and small, as well as games on each platform. Not every game will look next-gen, blah 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 blah. Sackboy, Bugsnax, be cool and enjoy, blah blah blah. Basically saying that soon they're going to be covering the next-gen games coming up with the releases of the brand new consoles. So yeah, PlayStation, your official magazine says this game's going to be a sleeper hit. Well, how about you guys go ahead and stop sleeping on the information you got and share it already?